gentlemen of the rock and roll, punk, prog, hardcore, thrash, and heavy metal community. My name is Jason Evans, and yes, this is the 25th episode spectacular of the Great Metal Standoff, the podcast that pits music's greatest albums in track-by-track combat. And right away, I can't help but sense this one's a bit irrelevant, isn't it? When this battle of Tool 10,000 Days versus System of a Down Hypnotize was first conceptualized, it was intended to be a light-hearted chat about the seemingly last studio releases by both bands. Well, that aged well. But keeping in with the holiday spirit and this being our last standoff for 2021, this battle is mine and your holiday gift to our very own friend and co-host, Imran. Being a super fan of Tool and System of a Down, he's been buzzing for weeks for the day to come when we record this episode. He's even been losing sleep, giddy with excitement. To add to the festivities, Imran invited his bandmate Nick to complete the debate stage and send these two bands locking horns. For anyone who may not know, Imran founded and fronts his own local band called Flood, and this will mark the second occasion Imran has been accompanied by one of his bandmates on the show. Back on episode 19, our Dio three-way, Bob Rules versus Rainbow Rising versus The Last in Line, check that out if you haven't, we got to meet Jack, Flood's guitar player. This time, it's Nick's turn. And with him being the drummer, he had plenty to say about Danny Carey and John Dolmayan and the inspiration he draws from them. Also, despite Imran's excitement for recording a Tool versus System of a Down battle, it came at a cost. And you're going to find out why very shortly. Now, how is this caveat going to be shaping the battle? How will this affect the result? Well, first things first, before we get to that, here are the rules. Every album battle will be contested in track-by-track format by our podcast panel. Each individual panelist will select a winner of each pairing. The winning track receives a point to that individual's tally score. Tracks on albums that go uncontested can receive a tally point if a panelist awards it a gold star. We're going to need that today. Go on, Soldier Side. Once the battle is over, the album with the highest tally score will receive 1 grand point for that album. If a panelist's tally score results in a draw, both albums will receive a half grand point each. The album with the most grand points will be declared the winner. We hope you enjoyed this special holiday battle. Over to Imran and Nick, half a Flood. Roll the audio. Imran.
Jason.
This podcast is probably 2 years too late and the joke has sailed, but here we are.
I mean, yeah, but I'm excited still.
I can see it in your eyes. You are buzzing by the fact we get to talk about Tool for over an hour.
Finally. I don't know why we haven't done this sooner.
And even better, you brought a bandmate with you. It's great to see him too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good to be here.
This is Nick, by the way.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, world.
How you going?
Yeah, good.
That's good. How's your day been?
To be honest, hectic as hell. Been busy planning Christmas stuff and everything.
Oh, that's exciting.
You know, kind of, not really actually. More excited for Christmas.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we have a podcast to record, and unfortunately, it's not about Christmas. So
Yeah, I know. Big damn.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big Christmas gift for all of you, though. Tool versus System of a Down.
Exactly. The best Christmas gift you can get.
Yep. I am. I don't think I have words to describe how excited I am. My vocabulary is limited. Anyway, Nick, this is your first time doing a podcast.
Yes, I am not sure what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try my best.
Well, basically, all you need to do is just talk about the songs.
Yeah, easy. All right.
It's pretty much that.
That's, you know what? I like both bands, both albums, so you know it should be all right. It should be easy to say.
This would be very easy to do.
Yes.
It's good to hear you like both bands. I want to get your first thoughts, Nick. What went through your head immediately when the battle was pitched?
So that's a good question. With System of a Down, I feel like they don't have one song that I don't like. Like every single song of theirs, I just love. But with Tool, like, you know, some of their songs, especially like The Pot or whatever, it's just so good. It's like one of the best songs ever written. Like I just can't. it's so hard to compare because they have like some really gold songs that you just can't compete with. But then, everything about System of a Down is just so perfect. So I don't know. It's really tough.
Now, I'll get for context for me, by the way, Nick. I've only known Imran for about a year, maybe two, but I never gave Tool the time of day until I met Imran. Not because for any malicious intent, but mostly because Tool never were a thought in my mind. They never really were a band that I would actively seek out. But then I meet Imran, and then as EP for the show that coincides with this podcast, it's called Mosh Pit on Sin, Thursday nights 8 p.m. on Sin. We were working together on the show, and pretty much every week for 6 months straight, Imran would be suggesting me a Tool song. And that's the only way I got exposed to Tool. And here we are about to review 10,000 Days, the album that started a 13-year streak of inactivity for the band. And Imran, it's safe to say, with 6 months worth of Tool songs you've sent my way for the radio show every week, there's only 2 songs that I've been able to retain in my memory, and that was Schism and Sober, and I never gave a damn about any of the rest because you also hooked me up with A Perfect Circle, and I prefer that band a lot more.
Oh, I mean, that's fair, but this is going to be interesting then, hearing your opinion on 10,000 Day, because Schism and Sober is, earlier Tool, so...
Certainly is. Whereas Hypnotize, gentlemen, where does that stand for you in your love for System of a Down? Imran, you've talked about at great length privately, off air, about your love for System of a Down, and we've just heard Nick serenade the band. Where does Hypnotize rank?
With me? Look, I love System of a Down. They're easily one of my favourite bands of all time. Hypnotize is not one of my favourite albums of all time. It's probably my least favourite System of a Down album. So, this is going to be a very interesting podcast.
It'll be a bit weird if that's news to Nick, by the way.
Well,
I feel like I've mentioned this to Nick before. Maybe.
I've heard, yes, no, yeah. Hypnotize, it used to be, I hadn't even really listened to it for a long time compared to the amount of time I've been listening to System of a Down for. But I actually bought it. I've bought all of the albums and CD now for my car because my car's very old. And so I get forced to listen to songs in order in albums rather than just on Spotify or whatever. And that actually made me grow to love Hypnotize more because it's very unique. The music in Hypnotize is very unique even for System of a Down, I think. So it's kind of almost an acquired taste, to be honest. But
it is definitely very unique.
Yeah.
I will say that.
So, just before we get into this battle really quickly, Imran, since we got another bandmate on the show, take it away, Imran. Let's get to know Nick. Lead us through this. What's Nick like as a drummer for your band, Flood?
What is Nick like as a drummer? He's a great drummer.
Right.
He was better than our first drummer. I'll give you that.
Shoot from the hip.
Yeah. No, he's a bit wacky, but I like him as a drummer. So, yeah, definitely brings a bit of character to the band.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Nick, what do you reckon you're like as a drummer?
Truthfully, I think I'm a good drummer, but I think I'm a terrible practicer. I think I need to practice a lot more, and I could be a lot better than I am. But I do very much love the drums, and when I'm playing, it's like my favorite thing to do. So that's really all I have to say about being a drummer. But I love the drums, and I love playing in Flood. It's great.
Nick, I've got a question for you as well.
Oh, yeah?
Who is your favorite band, and why is it Flood?
Well, obviously, because of their drummer, man. He's just so good looking.
Yeah.
Obviously. What else can I say?
He's a pretty good looking man, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but the vocalist as well. Those tones. Wow, you just can't beat it. You just can't beat them.
I'm a fan of the singer, definitely.
Yeah. And those locks, oof, man.
Oh, yeah.
Can't beat them.
Also, why is the greatest guitarist in the world previous guest on the Great Metal Standoff, Jack Lynch?
Obviously because he's just the best guitarist ever. There's really no explanation. You'd have to listen to him play.
This is very awkward because Flood don't actually have anything available for anyone to listen to.
We have one demo that we're not releasing to anyone yet because it sounds
horrible. It needs some editing, that's for sure. But I am very proud of it. It does sound great. Like the actual song itself is great. Just the recording is a bit,
Yeah. Needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've actually never asked you this, Imran, and Nick, chime in if you must. What's it like the lifestyle of being in a band and doing the rehearsals and making out all those demos at a local level? What's it been like for you guys?
So far, it's been a bit hard because, well, we all live a bit far away from each other as well, so that's a bit challenging.
Yeah, definitely.
So we didn't get to do much during the lockdowns and stuff. Putting together songs and stuff isn't too hard. We get distracted a lot, but I mean, apart from that,
Well, he says that, but like he's like the guy that writes it all and everything, and then we just do what he says. Like it's like we're lucky to have him because if he wasn't writing this music, I'd be there going, I don't know what to do. But so
well, yeah, but like I don't write the drum parts, so
yeah,
I show you the song and you guys come up with your parts. So that's pretty much how it goes. We do get distracted a lot,
yes,
and
that's very true.
apart from that, it's alright.
Well then, that was a bit of a flood distraction then. Let's get back to the main focus at hand. Tool versus System of a Down. Furthermore, being massive fans of the band, how was it having to wait 13 years between releases? Do you think that 10,000 Days in Hypnotize was a good way to at least start the streak? Was it a good note to end on?
Look, I mean, I wasn't a fan of Tool when 10,000 Days came out because I would have been like 6 at the time, I
Yes,
think.
we were all been kids at the time, yeah.
Yeah, but when I did get into Tool, I didn't have to wait as long for new music to come out, which was pretty good. But it did feel like a bit of a pain though, having to wait for new music, especially when I was so obsessed with Tool. I'd look up every day, is new music coming out? Is there going to be music? And there'd be headlines or clickbait titles saying, Tool are in the studio, or Tool might be doing something in this with music, or Tool might be going on tour, and I'd freak out
So
every
you were
day
fully
about it.
invested in that craze, were you?
I was so invested. Don't understand.
And how is it for System of a Down, by the way, Nick? Hypnotize came out the same year as Mesmerize. It was only an eight or 9 month gap between albums.
Yeah, yeah. It was almost like they were like joint albums, weren't they? Like
Yeah,
they
it's a
came out
double
together
album.
as the contrast each other. Um, I find it a shame that people seem to much prefer Mesmerize over Hypnotize, and they don't really seem to give it a chance as much. But coming back with those after a break is it was a daring, I think a daring move because yeah, they're still very System of a Down, but they're very very different to their previous stuff.
Oh, definitely.
There's a lot of discussion to be had. Let's signal over to the godforsaken timekeeper, Imran, your favourite person in the world.
I ring the bell.
You heard the man. And so the battle begins. Vicarious versus Attack. Imran, need I repeat? I must repeat. The only 2 songs that I've been able to seek out from Tool and enjoy was Sober and Schism. When I listened to Vicarious, I've now added a 3rd. It's a good start, that song. That's a really enjoyable song. Then again, Attack is also a stellar start. So we're already up for a contentious one right out of the gate. My goodness. Nick, as usual on the Great Metal Standoff, it is tradition for the guests to begin. So, Nick, the floor is yours.
Well, I must say, when it comes down to it, Attack is important to me, I guess, because it was one of the first System songs I ever listened to. Because I never listened to them in order, so it always it was one of those first ones I listened to. So it kind of has a bit more meaning to me. Because Tool, because it's been so more recent for me, especially because Imran's been the one that introduced me to them and stuff like that more. Like I knew of them, but he's the one that's gotten me into them as much, kind of like you. I just haven't got that connection with a lot of their songs yet. But the energy in Attack, I don't know how to put it. I just help me out here. I just prefer Attack, I reckon.
This is why we have Imran. What do you got lined up for us?
Well, before I get into my big Tool spiel, I like Attack. It's a very weird song. It kind of gives me like a circusy vibe in the verse, but like it's really brutal. Like for an intro, it just immediately wakes you up. Especially, I mean, it's called Attack, so yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's a cool song. I like it. Like one of the few songs I like on this album. I like the weird breakdown ending, and I also like the big attack in the middle. That's so cool. Oh, Serge, what a man. But I don't know. I think For an opener to a System of a Down album, it's such a weird song. I like after because when I got into System of a Down, I got into their first and second album, which is self-titled and Toxicity. When I listened to Hypnotize for the first time, or even still when I listen to Hypnotize, I think like, what is this? It's not System of a Down. Um, I don't know. It just gets me. It's weird. Whereas Vicarious, I listen to that and I think, yeah, that's a Tool song. It's got the weird bass sound effects. It's got the signature drop D Tool riff from Adam Jones. It's got that weird off kilter groove, which feels like it's just added an extra beat onto it. It's got the microphone whisper vocals from Maynard. It's got just a buttload of rhythm and weird synth xylophone sounds and stuff, and this really big build up to a massive scream at the end, and then a bunch of more rhythm stuff. It's yeah, it's just a really cool song, a very solid opening, very cool music video, might I add. I'm picking Vicarious.
Alright. With Vicarious and Attack, from especially a musician standpoint, I do prefer like listening and enjoying Vicarious purely, just like in a fun way. Like if I'm playing along to it on drums or anything like that, I find I can, it's one of those songs you can really groove to, really get in the feel of that kind of stuff. Attack, as Imran was saying, the energy is there. Like it's great. Like it really, the name's perfect. Attack. Like, you really feel it. But driving along in my car, say, yeah, I'm listening to either album. Ultimately, I would rather probably listen to Vicarious
While driving in your car.
while driving in my car. In general, that's when I
Mm.
mostly get to listen to music.
I thought you were gonna pick Attack.
Well, as a band, maybe System of a Down might come out on top, but I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna battle it out and see what happens. But I'm pretty torn. I'm pretty torn.
Well, any other album, any other time, I would be picking Attack. It's got, no pun intended, that attacking chorus, and then it just descends into madness as the final scream is let out, and there's some arpeggiated bridge that's lovely. The first impression that was set for me by listening to Attack, I was hooked right out of the gate. I'm into this album. But then again, Vicarious, I think it just edges it out. Just edges it out by a hair's breadth. My first point's going to go to Tool there. Again, it's the third song I'm now going to be seeking out by Tool. So thank you, Imran, for overexposing Tool to me. And I'm like, okay,
Anytime.
here we go. I'm invested, Maynard. I'm with you. Adam Jones. By the way, I think I'm going to set this right out of the gate. Justin Chancellor on bass is probably my MVP. He's probably my favourite part of 10,000 Days as we go along. And I'll maybe get into a little bit more detail. But my God, if Attack went against anything else, it'd get a point. And it only falls short by a hair's breadth. Nick, you got a final answer? You were torn.
I'm going Vicarious. I've just got to do it. Yes.
Agreed. Like I said, hair's breadth for me. Okay, 1-0 Tool across the board. Jambi versus Dreaming. I think I think this might tie it up for me. I prefer Dreaming to Jambi. I'll say that right out of the gate. Nick, what do you say?
Oh, I'm going Jambi.
Okay.
Totally. The riff, the opening guitar riff, man, that hits hard. That's great. I love it. The first time I heard it, I was straight up like, okay, this is a Tool song that I want to listen to. Like, it's so good. The drums in it are incredible. Like, they just make you want to play. Like, Jambi is one of those songs that makes me want to, I'm glad I play drums. I'm glad I can play along to it. Like, hands down, Dreaming is a great song. It's written amazingly. Again, it's so System of a Down, but it's a really fun song to listen to with a great energy. The big build up at the start, though, louder and louder, but I don't know. Jambi, no, I've just got to straight up say Jambi wins it for me, hands down, easy.
Yeah, same here. Dreaming's a very interesting song. That's another one where, this is the second song that I just think, am I even listening to System of a Down? It's got a weird black metal theatrical feel with all the weird vocal stuff happening at the start. I do like the clean middle section though. Darren has some really nice vocals in that part. But nah, absolutely nothing against Jambi here. That opening riff, like you said, Nick, the drums are monstrous in this song.
Yeah, yeah.
The bass and the guitar swap lead parts a lot, which I really like. There's a really nice bass riff in this that plays during the verse. I really like Maynard's vocals as well. It's kind of got this weird bluesy flair to it
Yep.
that I really like. Plus the breakdown and the talkbox solo. The solo apparently was inspired by Joe Walsh, I think, from the Eagles, who I think he used a talkbox in one of his songs, and Adam Jones was like, yeah, amazing solo. Absolutely no question. Jambi.
Well, screw you. I'll take Dreaming. I'll tie this up for System of a Down for me. I'm interested, Imran. I listened to Hypnotize to prepare for this podcast. By comparison's sake, I decided to listen to Toxicity. Again, stellar album by System of a Down, but I'm a bit confused as to what you mean by, again, as someone who's hasn't done a deep dive into System of a Down as of until now, I don't quite get what you mean by saying, is this System of a Down? What do you mean by that?
I hadn't listened to Hypnotize for a long while when I was a System of a Down fan. I'm familiar with their first and second album and Still This album, although I didn't listen to Still This album for a while as well. And Mesmerize, of course, but I'm familiar with Mesmerize more now than I was back in the day. But I don't know, like the comparison between the Toxicity era and Hypnotize feels more like an experimental pop punk, almost theater type work, whereas, you know, with of course like some System of a Down type like things that they do. I don't know exactly how to explain it. Toxicity, I feel like, had a very signature sound to it. Like when you listen to a song of Toxicity, that's immediately like, yeah, like no other band sounds like this. Like, you know, you almost can't classify it as a genre. It's just everywhere and all over the joint. And Hypnotize just has so much happening that I feel like it's almost like they're reaching to do something that they probably shouldn't have. I don't
Sounds
know,
like
maybe
you're
they should have
saying
done it.
some of
But
it's working for you, some of it isn't.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, I feel that.
The way I saw it, the drumming on Dreaming is goddamn intense.
Yeah, that's
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
Vocally, however, I thought Surge was better on Attack in the verses than he was on Dreaming. I wasn't quite sure about the high registered thing, but it was very curious to hear those vocal layerings that were going on in the pre-chorus. It was kind of like what Haken did with the song Cockroach King, where there's a main vocal line, but then there's like three vocal lines going on in different channels at the same time. It sends you out of whack a little bit. Other than that, I just enjoyed, the hooks of, dreaming, of screaming, and things like that. So those are my reasons as to why I'm taking Dreaming, and I'm really glad, Imran, you were talking about how there's a bit of a pop-punk approach, because that comes up, I think, a lot more prevalently in the next track, I think. Here we go. We'll move on to the next track anyway. Wings for Marie, Part 1 versus Kill Rock and Roll. First things first, Darren singing about he sounds like an asshole. Well, vocally, it's not great. I'll be perfectly blunt there. And no, I've written in my notes here, pop punk chorus. You're right, Imran. There are elements of kind of a pop punk styling across Hypnotize. Kill Rock and Roll is one of those tracks. Wings for Marie Part 1. Not much happened for the first 30 seconds, and I wasn't a fan of the psychedelic stuff in this particular instance. I'm not going to bash it that hard, because I just think it's just my personal tastes coming into play here, but Wings for Marie wasn't much for me.
Well, to be fair, Wings for Marie is the prelude to a part 2 that goes for 11 minutes. So, like, there's stuff going on, but like there's not as much going on as the part 2, obviously, which we'll get into, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I really like the rotary effect on the guitar, which, like you said, I guess is the psychedelic stuff.
Is that what gives it the impression of that it's travelling across your channels if you were
like
to listen to it with
swirling
headphones
across,
and that kind of thing? It's kind of moving left to right into the centre.
Yeah, it moves left and right, it speeds up, it slows down, it's really cool. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I think Hendrix does it a lot. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, like you said, for the first 30 seconds is like this weird, like meditation kind of sound coming slowly in. I like how the vocals really slowly build up. But yeah, I think the second half of this song is what kind of makes it. After the big wall of sound that just like hits you, and then suddenly there's all of this reverb and empty space. Kind of kind of feels like you're like floating around in this big like empty space that's like a limbo or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's like one looping guitar riff, one looping bass riff, sorry, a drum pulse kind of happening. Maynard doing his thing over the top, kind of like, I don't know, singing out into nothing. I really like this song. It's not a top 3 off of 10,000 Days, but I think it's really interesting, and it perfectly leads into the next song as well. So, yeah. I mean, the only note I've got for Kill Rock and Roll is it's literally a pop punk song. So I'm picking Wings for Marie.
Just on that fact alone, that's nice. That's funny.
Yeah.
What do you say, Nick?
Straight up, I don't even really have to like argue it. I pick Kill Rock and Roll. It's actually always been one of my favorite songs on the Hypnotize album. I always liked it. I just thought it had a really fun feel to it, and I like the supposed backstory about the rabbit that he supposedly that Darren supposedly ran over, which I think is kind of funny that he named Rock and Roll.
Oh, what?
What?
Yeah, legit. Yeah,
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, apparently it was something like he ran over this rabbit this one time and he called it rock and roll, so the song killed rock and roll.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I always like
Of course
that.
Darren would do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was great. And Wings for Marie, I really do like, it's kind of like what you're saying about the reverb and everything. It's again a very technically speaking, it's a very complex and very well written song, but it's one, not my kind of thing, and two, it really is just almost an intro for 10,000 Days. So I've got to go with Kill Rock and Roll pretty much.
I'm going to join you there, Nick. Kill Rock and Roll for me.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the reasons you've mentioned. Also, the fact that we're calling it an elongated intro to 10,000 Days, then you don't need to be doing that in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You could probably chop that
Jason,
in half.
it's Tool. What do you expect?
I am still new to Tool. I will concede. Nah, Kill Rock and Roll for me. For the reasons Nick had just mentioned there. Despite the fact Kill Rock and Roll probably isn't that high on my list in terms of Hypnotize favourites, but it'll still get the point nonetheless. Let's talk about 10,000 Days, or in brackets, Wings Part 2, going up against the title track for Hypnotize. Hypnotize, also probably the lead single off the album. We'll start with 10,000 Days because we've been talking about that. Imran, 11 minutes to discuss. Off you go.
11 minutes and 13 seconds to be exact, but where do I begin? Firstly, the bass line. The bass line that just carries through the whole song. I think it's one of the only bass lines where Justin Chancellor uses his fingers instead of a pick. It starts off a lot more subtle and a lot more calmer. That's how he gets that really crunchy sound. But yeah, he uses his fingers in this, which is a lot more somber, a lot more chill, laid back. You've got the weird guitar sounds coming in. I love this whole song. I once put this song in Audacity. I forget why, but I distinctly remember the wavelength of this song is like a perfect line going, like just getting bigger and bigger as like a slow build. It kind of blew my mind because to me this song was cut into two. It was the clean part and the heavy part with the solo. But the fact that it just opens up perfectly and just maintains that the build and the wavelength is definitely a big thing for me, because like the fact that they managed to do that, the fact that it's produced that well, that they like all the sounds that they added, that everything just combines and builds up to this big ending, this really big finale of a song. Like, yeah. What else is there to say? Maynard, of course, lamenting the whole song. His vocals on this track are a lot more low key but very powerful, I'd say. He's got some really nice harmonies in the middle section that I really like. It sounds like he's layered like 4 or 5 vocals over the top of that, but it's really cool. Of course, the give me my wings. It's so good. Apparently, there's a if you put Wings for Marie Part 1 at a specific point in this song, it like perfectly loops with the end of the track. Because the ending of it, Hang on, my brain just shut off. The ending of it is almost identical to the ending of Wings for Marie Part 1. So if you play it at the same time together, it like syncs up and everything just kind of joins together. And apparently this works only if you put the final track on 10,000 Days, which is Virginity Tres, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, right at the start of the song, because that syncs up with 10,000 Days Part 2. It's a really weird Easter egg, but that's definitely something that Tool would do.
And do you hear that, dear listeners? That's the sound of Imran's third eye awakening as we speak. Nick, what do you got?
Oh, it just opened so hard.
Alright. Well, I don't have nearly as much in-depth knowledge or what's the word? Or I don't happen to have the third eye that Imran has about Tool, so I can't go nearly as deep as him. However, what I can say is when it comes to 10,000 Days and Hypnotize, I'm not really a fan of either of them.
Oof.
Even though they're both pretty much the titles of the album. They're not. I don't mind Hypnotize and I don't mind 10,000 Days. Like they have some really cool parts, but it's just not my style of music as all. However, if there's parts that I'd pick out. 10,000 Days, I really love, as Imran said before, the bass line, the repeating bass line is sick. It's kind of what keeps you listening. Like I bought this album only for a couple songs, but I've given everything a listen, and the bass line in the song is kind of what kept me going through it. I also really liked the unique, I think it's like the storm sound effects that they use in it. That was I'd never heard that in a song before, only that meditation stuff, which I thought was really unique and really cool. So I really did like that, and I think it actually really worked. So Hypnotize, I I don't know, it's a bit
Weird.
weird and kind of boring. I don't. It doesn't really stand out to me as a System of a Down song. It doesn't really interest me, and it's not really my kind of thing. There's nothing about it to me that stands out any more than any of their other songs. Like, there's no crazy drums, no crazy guitar, the lyrics aren't, special. There's just nothing that really stands out to me about it. So I definitely go with 10,000 Days in this, just because I think it was kind of, I mean, maybe not for Tool, but in general in music, it was kind of different and daring, and it worked, and it was really cool.
I will read them for you. Serge and Darren, call and response. I kind of liked that in the verse.
Serge was better vocally than Darren, though, I think, in that song.
He's always better vocally, Jason. Come on.
You are right. In fairness, Darren, at least on like songs like Lost in Hollywood, is very good in situations like that.
Well,
but yeah, maybe not Hypnotize.
No, Darren has his moments. I will say that, but Serge is like a father to me. He's amazing.
You even look the same.
Yeah, exactly. We're both from the same country. Come on. But yeah. That's the only thing I liked about the song. My next point was I don't like this song, and that was all of my notes on Hypnotize. I always thought I was crazy for not liking this song, because every System of a Down fan that I know is always like, "Oh my god, Hypnotize, it's the best song," and I'm just like, I don't like it. What's so special about it? I don't know.
It's not the best song on the album. I took away from the drum break in this particular song. If the drum break wasn't there and you just had that melodic guitar going on in the bridge, it would sound very zen. It would sound very meditative, sound very relaxing. But with the added drum break going on in that bridge, the guitar melody actually makes it sound like it's generating a lot more tension than you'd expect. And I kind of admired that part about it. And it's also a bit more focused on just simplistic chugging, heavy riffs.
Yeah.
And it's over in 3 minutes. It's much more digestible than 10,000 Days for me at this rate.
Move
so
on
I think
with your
just
life
for
after you listen
personal
to it.
choice, I'm going to be committing sacrilege here and taking Hypnotize.
That is blasphemy. Cannot believe you've done this, Jason.
Well, but no. But then again, 10,000 Days. I'm very glad you brought up the Maynard line of "Will be mine, she'll be." What's the lyric again? Sorry.
Give me my
yes.
wings. Yeah.
Yeah, that gives a very nice piece of subtle intensity to it. That's, I think, going to be the key word here. There is this element of intensity throughout both, but they're done in a very different way. Also, there was this sound that Adam Jones was making with his guitar that made it sound very deserty, and I'm very curious as to what that was because I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Imran, would you know any answer to that?
I've in that song, I think he uses a lot of distortion.
Yeah.
Especially in that break where everything just opens up and becomes like a big. It feels like a big sandstorm almost, like you're being hit by like a lot of wind.
Especially in that vocal moment.
In that moment.
Yeah, well, in that moment we've been talking about with Maynard
Yeah.
there. Other than that, there was a moment where Jones was getting very fuzzy on the guitar, and I'm like, that's really elongated and I don't care for it. But again, Chancellor and Carey on the bass and the drums, they're carrying the
yeah.
song for me to a certain extent.
Through the solo, they kill that part.
Yeah, I
There's-
prefer that
it's
more
just-
than the solo.
I don't blame you actually. Yeah, the solo is like it's a good solo. It's very Adam Jonesy, like very drony and like very simplistic. But yeah, Justin Chancellor and Danny Carey absolutely kill it during that part.
There we have it. Okay, so what we've got now is a score check. Currently, for myself, Hypnotize is in the lead 3-1. Nick, 10,000 Days, 3-1. Imran, 4-zip, 10,000 Days. Yet to give Hypnotize a point.
I swear I love System of a Down.
Are you sure about that?
As a drummer, Nick, who do you relate to more as a drummer? Danny Carey or John Dolmayan?
From, I think, without sounding, what's the word, like,
Well,
without
who do you draw
sounding-
more inspiration from, Carey or Dolmayan?
Inspiration, Dolmayan, but I think naturally, John is just who I seem to play naturally as more, if you know what I mean. It seems to be just how I have always played. I think that's originally actually why I loved System so much. But you know, Tool, that's kind of what I aspire to play more like. I want to try and evolve and change my style and really learn to just naturally play a bit more like them.
Sweet. All right. Coming up now is The Pot, probably one of the bigger hits by Tool, versus Stealing Society, another punk rock inspired number there, Imran.
Oh yeah, this is probably the most punk rock that System of a Down have ever gotten. This is like Green Day fused with The Clash, fused with insert other pop punk band into the.
I wrote down in my notes there, oh, Darren, he's punk influenced, isn't he? Because it felt very Ramones-ish.
Yeah.
But it was only in those parts. Everything else felt a bit thrashy.
Yeah, everything was very I like the transition from like from the verse into the bridge. It's like a weird breakdown transition, but I really like how it transitions from the verse. But the rest of it is very very punky. It's got the la 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 that part as well. It's punk. That's all I can say about it.
Share the sentiment, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most like punky kind of like thrash punk. Obviously not just thrash, but by far it stands out in the library of System of a Down songs. It definitely stands out as by far probably the most punky thrashy song they have like that. If I'm to pick between the two, well, I'm sorry, but The Pot is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. So nothing's really going to compete with that. You can't beat it. Everything about it is perfect. But back to Stealing Society, it's a great song. I actually think for how different it was for them to do kind of something a bit more punky like that, they did a really good job. I definitely it's something I really enjoy listening to, and I think they could do more stuff like that in that kind of style that would really work for them because it's really fun to listen to. But the pot, like the lyrics, the bass line, the guitar, the drums, man, the drums in The Pot, you can't beat them. I have been watching because I want to learn it. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I've been watching drum covers on YouTube and stuff like that. That's how I teach myself, watching them play, and it's even more complex and intricate than you even realize listening to it. Like watching people play it, it's crazy, man. Like it's so good. it's such a good piece of music. So, between the two, the pot just absolutely dominates. Pretty much anything else in this list, the pot would dominate, to be honest. I just, it's that good of a song, at least to me. But yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree. I had the honor of seeing Tool live. The absolute honor
Oh,
of seeing them live right before COVID.
I remember you sharing
And
the stories in the studio from the time. Yeah,
oh yeah,
it was so close to lockdown. It's amazing, isn't it?
it was. It was. I remember. I think that was like the first time I heard about COVID. Was I don't know if it was that show or another one. There was a COVID case at the Tool show because there was two here. But I remember that was the first time. Besides that, I had the absolute honor of seeing them live, and The Pot was definitely one of the standouts of that show. That song just hits you. It just, right from the get-go, it's just Maynard. The first time I ever listened to this song, I didn't compute that that was Maynard singing because it's so different kind of stylistically, or like the tone of his voice. But right from the get-go, you've got the vocals, and then you've got the bass coming in. You've got the slow drone of the guitar, the weird drum pattern, and then that riff just comes in like a. That's probably one of my favorite Tool riffs. It's so basic, it's so simple, but it just hits. I don't know. It's a Tool riff, and I love it. It's the only criticism I'd have to say about it is the breakdown is slightly underwhelming, but the rest of it is just it's just like one of those songs it's just a really solid song. Everything about it works. It's structured really well. It flows. Maynard definitely I think is the standout on the track. His vocals on it are just outstanding. Yeah.
It certainly is a good vocal performance by Maynard there. And I will say, I don't think there was much fancy things going on with the guitar there in terms of riffage. It just was more to punctuate the bass line. At least that's how what I got out of that. I'm not sure what you got out of that.
It's a very simple
there,
part, but it works.
Yeah. Punctuates the bass line for me. I see what you mean by there is a breakdown there where it is just signature Tool and it's take it or leave it. I thought the build that they had into... they have these sections where they just build and generate as much tension into the big euphoric parts of the pot. I thought the euphoric moments of the pot were a bit underwhelming, but I did enjoy the build to get there, so I won't be too harsh on that. Other than that, Stealing Society, it's take it or leave it. I don't mind it, but it's a very take it or leave it. I don't know.
It's a fun song, but it's going up against the pot, so there's really no competition here.
I very nearly would have gone Stealing Society had we not had this conversation. I'll take the pot. And that would mean all three of us are in agreement. That's lovely.
yeah.
Fantastic. We're all lining up to celebrate the pot. Fantastic.
Let me just say about the pot, it manages to keep a solid, I think it's a 3/4 beat most of the way through, but while
I
doing
think
that,
it's in 4/4.
is it?
It is in 4/4.
I can check.
Quick Google search.
And better still, if Nick gets this wrong, fact check us with the correct answer. Facebook.com/Metal Standoff Pod. While Nick Googles that, we'll also get his opinion on the next track, Lipan Conjuring versus Tentative, because my view, Lipan Conjuring does exactly what it says on the tin, whereas Tentative is probably the song that grew on me the most listening to Hypnotize.
Tentative, it's a very, very interesting song. I like the weird off-sounding riff. There's like a really weird chord that he plays there. But Serge goes absolutely nuts in the verse. I am all for that. I really like that. I like the chill clean stuff. There's a part towards the end where there's like the chill clean part, and then they like explode in with the heavy stuff, and then they go back to the chill like nice zen stuff, and then slams back in. I don't know. I don't think that was necessary, but the rest of it was pretty solid. I did enjoy this song a lot.
I'll get it over with immediately. It's the point for me. Lipan Conjuring did nothing for me.
I was gonna say, like, I can't really pick Lipan Conjuring for anything. Like, it's ooh,
That's it, yeah.
ooh, yeah. If I knew what Lipan Conjuring meant, maybe if like some kind of spirit summoned into my room while that was playing, I would have given it a point. But I'm gonna pick Tentative. I did enjoy myself when I listened to that song. Surge definitely I think was the standout for me.
Certainly
Um,
so, especially in the chorus where you are hanging on every word, at least in my view. It goes from
oh
manic, but
yeah,
then I'm not sure how well it transitions in from the manic verse riff into that pre-chorus melodic part, but the melodic part into the chorus transitions beautifully, and it sets up a really good chorus.
I think so as well.
What do you got there, Nick?
Well, just from before, you're right. This the pot opens in 4/4, but later on switches to 3/4, and then it goes into 9/8 later. I think it changes a bit in time signatures. Anyway, that was just the research I had from before. Lepan Conjuring is it even really a song, to be honest? Not to be.
It's an interlude.
Yeah, really. I mean, it is. You can't really compare them because of that. It's
You
not.
would be very bold to give it a point, Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, Tentative is it's I mean, it's a great song. I love it. Again, it's also not one of my favorites, but just compared to like Le Pen Conjuring, you can't really compare them. It's not. I mean, as Imran was saying before, I just feel like I can't even fight for Conjuring. It hasn't really got anything going for it, except unless something actually unless something actually happened in my room or something like that, or we knew the backstory of why it was called that. I can't really give it anything.
So it's Tentative.
Yeah, definitely Tentative.
Well, that's Nick's second point to Hypnotize, and Imran's got Hypnotize on the board finally with Tentative, so good job there. There's not much more to say other than Lepan Conjuring. It sounds like you need Reverend Hale from Salem in 1692. Either way, it does transition smoothly into Lost Keys, bracket, blame Hoffman. Who? Dustin Hoffman? I don't know. Versus You Fig.
Which Hoffman it is, we will never know. But I genuinely really like Lost Keys, Blame Hoffman. Purely for its ambient, soundscapey kind of thing. I like the fact that it has an Australian sounding doctor. Dr. Wassman, I think his name is. I've listened to that song so many times, I keep forgetting his name.
You think that doctor's Australian?
He sounds Australian. He's got an Australian twang to his voice. But yeah, I've seen a live video of this of Lost Keys before, and that feedback drone that goes out throughout the whole thing is the bass, and I think that's really impressive. Justin Chancellor, absolute, like, yeah, he is easily one of my favorite bassists of all time. Um, yeah, I think it's just so impressive that he's able to maintain that drone the whole time. Like, I'm sure he's got a heck ton of effects on top of it, but it's just so impressive. And that riff over the top, just kind of going along that classic Adam Jones Western style riff. It's simple. It's what you expect when you hear Adam Jones. Well, I think this is the same case of Wings for Marie Part 1, is that it's an intro to the next song, obviously. You Fig. I really liked Surge on this song. It was fun. I liked the part. I'm picking Lost Keys.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Nick, where do you stand? My view is Lost Keys, it's 3 notes, and before the doctor's conversation kicked in, I got so bored I started just trying to amuse myself with what the soundscape would be. I was like, I've got in my notes here, is it a Meadowfield frolicking soundtrack? Is it crawling through a war-torn ruins? Is it a supervillain cast to solitary confinement? And then the doctor's conversation hit, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're in a hospital. My view is this, Lepan Conjuring and Lost Keys, you could probably mesh into one song, and they both serve as an intro into the next track. You Fig, on the other hand, let's chat about that one, Nick. You Fig.
Well, I don't know exactly what I'm allowed to say on this, but Eufig, for me personally, extremely trippy. I have a certain connection to that song, and to me, I don't even know what it is about Eufig, but it really seems to bring out some sort of almost subconscious feeling that I can't explain in it. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what I would call it, but whenever I hear that song, I feel this emotion without that I can't even explain, of like disconnecting from like reality almost. It's weird. It's a really strange song to me, and it has that effect to me for no apparent reason. But however, Lost Keys, uh, I don't, I get what they're trying to do, and it's cool, but just to listen to for music, like a couple notes, it's just not my kind of style. It's an obvious win for me. You figure like you just can't, at least for me, like if you're just listening to it for some music and to just enjoy yourself, yeah, it definitely wins.
I think you've helped me convince myself that UFIG was the way to go, so I'm going to join you there.
Yeah.
UFIG will get the point. Yeah, Lost Keys is 3 notes with a doctor conversation going on.
Yeah, it's cool and it's interesting, but for music, nah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. For music, it's not really comparable, at least for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And clearly for you there. This battle I'm interested in. Before we get into it, we'll do a quick score check. For myself, Hypnotize leads 5-2. 10,000 Days, I believe it is 6-1 for Imran. And Nick 4-3, System of a Down trailing. I'm very intrigued by this one. Rosetta Stone versus Holy Mountains. Let's start with Nick on this one.
Oh, jeez. Alright.
It's a tough
Holy
one, I
Mountain.
know. This is one of the toughest ones.
For two completely different bands, very similar songs, same kind of vibe, I think. Give off the same kind of, I don't know what the word is. If you can help me out here, it's like chanting kind. There's no chanting, but it's like that same feeling of like
tribal.
Tribally, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. Like real tribal, real primal as well, feeling in them. I love Holy Mountains. I think ultimately it has more of a somehow has more of an upbeat energy to it. Even though the drums themselves are pretty simple, the lyrics are really simple. It's just a lot of humming and harmonizing. I think.
They do a very good job with those harmonies, by the way.
They do. It's great. It's really good.
Signature System of a Down.
Yeah, listening to it, it's just like you can really get lost in it. It's pretty crazy. But Rosetta Stoned, it's again what does it for me is the drums. Probably I'm biased because I'm a drummer. But it's kind of unique for Tool. That almost that djenty guitar in it. In some parts, on and off. Along with the real, I think it's. Let me just have a quick listen. Yeah, double kick. Along with that double kick, it's got a real powerful, bassy, like when you're walking along and you're going, yeah, like that. I don't know how to put it. I'm really torn between these two. I can't. These are the two songs that I'm really struggling to decide upon. Imran, if you got anything to say here, that'd really help me out. I'm struggling.
Ha ha ha. Alrighty then. Picture this, if you will. Well, before I get into Rosetta Stoned, because holy crap, Holy Mountain, I cannot discredit that song. That is probably my favorite song on this album. It probably like one of the, I wouldn't say top 5 System riff, but it's definitely up there. Like it's a fantastic riff. I really love the vocals in the verse. They're very ominous because the whole song is kind of chugging along and the vocals are like lagging a bit behind and kind of brooding, building up to this really like amazing chorus.
Not only that, it kind of lulls you into a false sense of security.
Yeah, it's very brooding, I find. But the I like how the post like even I think it's the chorus. It's really nice. I like how it just kind of opens up. It's got this really epic feel to it, like almost like you're on a holy mountain. You're on the side of a mountain, just like out in the open. There's some wind blowing, something weird's happening, but it's amazing.
And the fact that the lyric they're repeating there is freedom, it connotes it perfectly. Like, yeah, lulls you into a false sense of security. The lyric is, "Can you feel the haunting presence?" Yes, you can. They did a great job with building that soundscape, and then they just hit you bang, and then open resolving chorus. Great job.
Yeah, that I like I said, I'm not a fan of this album, but Holy Mountain is definitely a standout. That's a song I'd go out of my way to listen to. Meanwhile, Rosetta Stoned. This is by far the best song on the album. 100%. It's just non-stop, monstrous, just everything. The drumming in particular, I think the drumming is the one thing that stands out on this track. But this is my favorite Maynard vocal track, 100%. He's got this weird stream of consciousness going out throughout the whole thing, with his vocals. It's like half the time he's not even singing. He's just like kind of speaking really fast. And yeah, there's so many different rhythms happening. I like the little splashes of synth that come in here and there. Just all of the riffs. There are some classic lines in it, just like about how he was abducted by aliens, and the whole story of it's amazing. You know, they chose me and I didn't even graduate from high school. I love that line so much. It gets me every time. By far, I think the best part of this song is the solo. It's really weird, but the best part about it is the rhythm, the rhythmic parts, which is Justin and Danny. They're absolute machines in that part. They're just constantly they've got so many weird rhythms going at the same time, happening at the same time, and then Adam is doing some weird. I don't know what effects he's got on his guitar, but it just sounds super. It almost sounds like this alien coming down to get you, or like trying to speak to you almost. It's it's so weird, and I love it. And I love how the solo goes into the next part, which goes into that really big verse. And then there's of course, the big distorted scream at the end. I wish this was a tougher choice. I really love Holy Mountain, but Rosetta Stone by far.
What are you going to say, Nick?
Oh, I've got to say it's Holy Mountain to me. It's just the whole feeling of the song. It wins it for me.
Time for a story, Imran and Nick.
Uh-oh.
As I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, Tool I've only been exposed to through knowing Imran. I have explored System of a Down before, but it hasn't been that deep of a dive. I was relieved to hear that when Nick said Attack was one of the first songs of System of a Down he heard, probably not the first, but one of. The very first System of a Down song I was ever introduced to by a mate of mine was Holy Mountains. So it's surprising to think that it's a Hypnotize deep cut that introduced me to the band, but that connection alone and being enamored by that intro, and for all the reasons I just mentioned before through to Imran, is basically me being completely biased, and I have to pick Holy Mountains.
Yep.
But I'm very glad you said
that.
at the top of the show, it was a Hypnotize track that got you into the band, because I was thinking Holy Mountains has got to be a very strange song to get into the band.
Yeah, it is, but it's so good. You can't argue. It's so good.
It is. Yeah. What more can you say other than let's move on? Intention versus Vicinity of Obscenity. Right. Okay. Vicinity of Obscenity. I'm very thankful, Imran, we did do a podcast on Angel Dust, because I put in my notes here that Vicinity of Obscenity, at least in the intro, for a minute I thought I was listening to Crack Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just goes bang, and I've written down Armenian Mr. Bungle. I've only listened to one Mr. Bungle track since recording that podcast, and that's the Travolta track. And I'm like, right, that is carny as balls. But it was the only comparison I could make when that song just went bang.
Yeah. This entire song is so wacky. It's goofy, it's a goofball song. The lyrics are literally banana, 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 terracotta pie. It's
and then it turns
crazy.
into a disco song all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a weird disco song.
It does.
There's some it's crazy. And the funny part is I genuinely really like this song. I unironically love Serge's vocals on this. Like, he actually goes hard and nails those vocals, and it's crazy. It's crazy how well done some of the parts are in this. There's the part towards the end where they do the big part where there are some crazy like guitar sounds that I'm just like, ooh, those actually sound really cool. And there's some like even those like wah sounds during the disco part, I'm just like, all of it's just done really well. It's a really weird, goofy song, but it's just done like super well. And I don't know how I feel about it.
There's a specific high-pitched vocal in Vicinity that I will say is objectively terrible. I hate it. But there are so many other parts that you have described there, Imran, that, yeah, they're phenomenal. It's like, you just have to throw your hands in the air, like, right, you've won me
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, exactly. There's no argument about it. It's a good song. I remember this being, I think, one of the first songs I heard off of this album, like a snippet of it, and I'm like, what the frick? It's weird. Um, yeah, Intention, on the other hand, is this super serious, brooding track that goes for like 7 minutes. This is one of the few instances where I think this is slightly long for a Tool track, but this is another track that I really like as well, actually. I think it's really cool how I feel like there's not much going on in this track, but I feel like it kind of works because it's got this weird emptiness at the start. You got the weird wobbly bass line that's like kind of moving the guitar riff. Reminds me of another Tool track on Lateralis called Disposition. It's got the like bass harmonies and stuff. I think Maynard's vocals on this are a bit underwhelming. They're very simple, like it's not doing much. But I do really like when the electronic drum like part comes in because I feel like it brings this track to life almost. It reminds me of an Aphex Twin song, not a specific one, just Aphex Twin in general. But yeah, there's a nice riff at that part too that I really like. And I have not chosen which one I like better yet, so I'm gonna need you guys to go, please.
What do you say, Nick? I'm going to go Vicinity.
Well, my little story is after I had recently bought the CD album of Hypnotize, again I hadn't listened to all the stuff on it as much because it isn't one of the more popular albums. But I was listening to it in the car, driving along, and then Vicinity of Obscenity came on, and I was like, "What on earth is this? Like, what is this song? This is crazy." I have my girlfriend next to me, and she's going, "I love this song. This is awesome." And I'm thinking the same thing. Like, she's not into that kind of metal or anything like that, especially System of a Down. Very, very strange. But this song came on, and she liked it. Like, it's a great song. It's so weird, as you guys were saying before. It's so weird, but it's so well done. It's the energy in it. I don't know. It almost reminds me of it almost makes you feel like a kid, like just running around the house. It's nuts. I love it. It's so good. However, Intention, I I don't know. That's not my kind of energy of song. It's kind of again, I see what they're doing. I get the whole, dark, you know, powerful sort of feeling they're going for, but as music to listen to, it's not for me. It's not the sort of thing that I would want to listen to as a song. So it's definitely for me Vicinity of Obscenity.
Yeah, good, good, because I got a bit bored listening to Intention. Sorry, Imran.
Nah, as much as I like Intention, it is a little bit long. I think it could have cut down a little bit and it would have been a bit better.
I love how you're saying this one's a bit long. It's not even the longest song on the album.
I know. I'm very aware. um, yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Vicinity too. I love Intention, but I can't go past the banana terracotta pie.
Yeah, banana, 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 terracotta.
Banana terracotta pie.
Yeah. And I just love how it goes from something out of Mr. Bungle straight into disco. That's, again, you got to throw your hands in the air like, well, what else can they throw at me? We'll do a quick score update because we have only got a few tracks to go. Currently, the scores stand like this. For myself, Hypnotize is in the lead 7-2. Nick, Hypnotize has now taken the lead 5-4. But Imran, 10,000 Days still comfortably in the lead 6-2. Wait. I just looked at the sheet here. I need to correct an error here. Imran, it's not 6-2, 10,000 Days. It's 7-2. So my apologies there. But still a convincing lead here. I think what's going to happen here is, Nick, you are now the deciding factor of who wins this battle. Let's move on here. Let's move on here. We'll get your thoughts first. However, Imran and Nick, I need to remind you here, this is a PG podcast. Right into versus She's Like Heroin. Nick, what have you got? What are your thoughts on these two?
Alright, starting off with She's Like Heroin. Avoiding, the lyrics, specifically what the song's about, it is musically a great song. It's very catchy. It's actually one of the songs off the album that I find myself singing along to a lot. Just out of nowhere, I'll just catch myself doing it. Which, so I'll be walking down the street and then I'm like,
that.
And then I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be saying that out loud. It doesn't sound so good out of context. But, it's...
I can confirm that. You've been around
Yeah.
me a few times and you've just like randomly started singing that, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
you definitely have to know the song, otherwise it's a bit
Yeah.
concerning even. Um, Ride In 2, however, it opens up very I'm like, cool, but not really my kind of thing. However, the build up when like the what's the word? The soloing and the fills start kicking in, especially with the drums and the guitar soloing, it's incredible. Nearly said a bad word. It's incredible. um, like I love it. But it's again like I was saying about she's like heroin. It's not something that's, at least to me personally, catchy. Not something that will really stick in my head, which personally to me is really important because I find if a song's catchy and it sticks in your head and you end up singing it out loud without even meaning to, that's a good song. They did a good job. Obviously, there's you can argue about that, but to me personally, it's about if it catches and if it sticks, and that song definitely sticks to me. So straight up, She's Like Heroin definitely wins.
Fair enough. I don't share the same sentiment about She's Like Heroin. I
Oof.
mean, it's catchy. There are some cool harmonies, I guess. But I don't know why. I just don't like that song.
Don't like the funk.
I
Bro.
don't know. Like it is catchy. I would say it's a fun song. If it came on randomly in like some event and everyone was dancing to it, I would probably dance to it. But I just don't like it. I don't know why. It's
I can relate
it's
to a
just one
certain extent, Imran. Vicinity did it better than this one.
100%. I would rather listen to Vicinity than to She's Like Heroin. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it doesn't click in my brain, and I don't know why. Ride in 2, on the other hand, this song is definitely a little bit lackluster for a Tool song. The first part of it, before the weird drum solo interlude thing, is a little bit like I like Maynard's vocals, and I like the weird tremolo bass thing going on with the weird like the pitch shifting. The chorus I think is really solid. But yeah, that middle part with the weird breakdown and the drums and the bass go absolutely insane. Where in that middle riff, in the middle verse, sorry, where Maynard's got that weird whispery vocals going. There is some brutal stuff going on there, and then they've got those polyrhythms happening with the guitar riff and the bass and drums kind of slowing down and like working with it. It's a solid song, but yeah, apart from that middle section and the chorus, nothing else about that song does it for me. I am gonna pick it over She's Like Heroin though, because purely for the drums and the bass.
Let me just say about She's Like Heroin. Something that stands out to me was one time I was driving home from my old job in a specifically bad mood, and I was listening to the album. That song came on, and it has a almost like a crazy or like unstable or like
Carney.
insanity vibe. Yeah, exactly. Feeling to it that really spoke to me in that moment when I was really on edge, and I just like I was screaming along to the lyrics on the way home, and it really spoke to me. I just got to really let my like frustration out. Um, so again, that's another one of System's songs that really connects with me just purely on an energy level. Doesn't really matter what it's about. It's just about the feeling of the song and just the unstableness of it. So yeah, that's definitely why I would pick that one.
I'm going to go with Imran here and go Ride In 2.
Ooh, I was not expecting that, Jason.
No, there was something about Maynard's delivery in the chorus and when all the instrumentation came together and give that bit of push to it that I took a little bit of a liking to. And there were certain moments with Adam Jones's guitar and the bends that he's doing in this song. It's like, that perked my ear a little bit. And I don't quite know why, but it was one of those elements that kind of set this song apart than the other songs that are on this album that I was sitting here, I'm bored, can you hurry up, please? There was enough there to keep me curious in Ride In 2.
It is a bit of a curious song.
And to your point, The drum work and the bass work is top notch. So, yeah, for those reasons that Imran had mentioned, and just by the general curiosity around it for me, I want to give my point to Wrighton too.
Traitor.
Interesting song. Now, we're at a point here where we've still got 2 tracks left on Hypnotize, and the Gold Star rule is going to kick in, but we are at the end of 10,000 Days, thus being the end of the Tool discography for a good 13 years. And it was Virginity Tress versus Lonely Day. Nick, Lonely Day wins.
Yeah.
Lonely Day wins.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Tool, but I don't even know what that song was, to be honest. I just kind of like, it's the kind of thing, no offense to Tool, but it comes on, I'm like, alright, skip. Not really. Not mine. Look, Lonely Day, however, you know, a very powerful song.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing you can listen to in a lot of different moods. You know, the chill mood. You know, you get in the right mood for it. But it's also something that I think, like, if you're really, you know, in a situation of whether it's you're just feeling down or you're going through something really, you know, really bad. Lonely Day is something that can really speak to you. It's a really powerful song. I think it's I don't know. It really stands out to me in this album. I really like it. So
yeah, take a moment to acknowledge when you might be in a bit more of a down mood than you typically would be, or finding a bit of comfort in solitude.
Yeah.
And I would also say, I think there is a dual guitar solo, if I'm not mistaken, on Lonely Day. I reckon that's one of the highlights of the album, that particular bit.
Yep. But Virginity Tress, I don't even like.
This song annoyed me when I heard it.
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing? Like, why do they end it on that? Like, wouldn't mind it in the album so much, but as the final song, it was a bit of a letdown.
Here's my notes, Nick. Virginity Tress, ambience for a full minute. Update, 3 minutes. Asterisk, 5 minutes in all caps.
Yep.
What? Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? It was disappointing to say the least. Again, I totally get what Tool's doing and everything. You know, like the message and the feeling that they're trying to give out. But you know, when I bought the album, I was like, bruh, come on, I bought this. Like, man, you know, like, dude.
I feel like we're about to throw over to Imran and he's just going to go, and so my pick is Virginity Tress.
Yeah, for real.
This is where this is going.
I've been waiting for this. Oh my god. Look, I'm actually kind of torn because holy crap, what a boring song. The most boringest song of my life. I don't like Lonely Day. It's so boring.
Damn.
Wow.
All right.
There's like nothing about it that piques my interest. I listen to it and I'm like, oh no, not this song. But then again, Virginity Tress is 5 minutes of nothing. So, do I pick Tool to spite System of a Down, or do I pick System of a Down because Tool have given me absolutely nothing to work with here? Can I skip
That's
this
the
one?
shadiest thing you've ever said on this show, Imran.
Ah, damn.
Can I please skip this one? I don't.
I love it when the spite point comes out. I love it.
Oh my god.
What are you going to do,
What's my score
Imran?
check at the? Can you score check me at the moment?
Oh, it's a comfortable win for 10,000 Days at this one. I can give you that for free. It's 8-2.
Screw it. I'll pick Lonely Day, but I absolutely hate that song.
That's the greatest debate we've ever had on this show. With that was 10,000 Days. That was the Tool discography for another. There you go. Virginity Tress ends, and then you have to wait another 13 years for another track. How about that? God, what an underwhelming
What a letdown.
What an...
Oh.
Man, just... I don't think I'll be so happy if I never have to listen to that song again. Alright, this is where the Gold Star rule kicks in, Nick and Imran. It's Soldier Side. So pretty much what we're going to do here is we can give this song a bonus point if A, you would actively seek that song out again. B, if you think it goes up again, if you put that song up against any other Tool track or a vast majority of Tool tracks from 10,000 Days, it would win. or if there's any other personal reason as to why you think it deserves a bonus point, give it a bonus point. Nick, do you think you will?
Jeez. Soldier Side is an absolutely fantastic song. Um, I the message within the song is I'm not the kind of person which being a musician I might get hate for this, but I'm not the kind of person that is listens to lyrics very strongly, partly because I'm kind of deaf and struggle to do so. But Soldier Side is it it's a very meaningful and impactful song. The lyrics as well. Like even I can tell that. So listening to it really does stand out in that way. I think I think it does deserve the bonus point because it's one of those songs that when I'm listening to it, it makes you think, and it makes you feel. It really does make you feel. It's very powerful, very impactful. So just for those points alone, I think it does deserve, just that little bonus point. Just a little bonus point, just because it was written so carefully and so well that yeah, it just really stands out.
I agree. I'm gonna give it a point because I think this is next to Holy Mountain the best song on on the album. I
Yep.
think I think the drums on it are very understated but very impactful. They're not prominent, but I feel like they do a lot in the song to for what the song is doing. Like you said, Nick, as well, the lyrics I think they're it's one I'm like you, Nick. I don't listen to lyrics a lot, or like analyze lyrics a lot.
Yep.
Um, but this is one of the songs where like it makes you want to listen to the lyrics. Like you want to stop and be like, "Whoa, what are they saying?"
Yeah.
Or what are they really saying to me? It's one of those songs. I think this was a perfect ending to a very below average album. So I'm gonna give it a point.
Um. Also, just one point I missed before is Soldier Side is one of the only songs just ever to really give me very clear, very distinct visuals as to what I'm picturing on my head when I'm listening to it. Uh, usually I'll listen to something I'm just enjoying myself and going along to it, and maybe a song might make me feel something, and I get a very vague, very indistinct idea of what's going on. But like Soldier Side really puts a picture in my head of what, at least what I think that they're trying to say. It really gives me strong visuals of what I think they're trying to tell me. So that's also why it really stands out to me.
Imran, I've got a question for you regarding instruments, because I couldn't quite put my finger on how to describe the instrumentation. I kind of want to hear a breakdown from you, because honestly, I could go either way. I could leave it or give it a bonus point. But there were moments in Soldier Side I wanted to ask you about, because there's some I couldn't quite put my finger on to describe it with the right words. So what have you got instrumentally to describe Soldier Side?
I didn't actually write many notes about this song. I just wrote my key thing was the drums.
Okay.
Um, that I think was the standout part. I know that there's like a very subtle orchestration in the background. There's a few guitars going on in there. In terms of instrumentation,
Great English.
um, bleh. Um, yeah, I'm not actually too sure, but musically, I think it's really fascinating because it switches up halfway through and it goes to that "Welcome to the Soldier" that part. I think that transitions really nicely from what it was beforehand, because it sounds kind of odd, but it works so well, and especially because that's how Mesmerize starts, and this is how Hypnotize ends. It's like they're like bookends. So, yeah, I think as a song, it works really well, and the transitions are very well done.
I think this conversation has swayed me. I could have gone either way. I'll give it a bonus with you. Good chat. It was great to learn a thing or two from the two of you guys with that. And with that, we've completed the battle. Congratulations, guys.
Oh,
Yay.
nice.
Well, with that, let's add up all of our tallies and see where the grand points are lying. We'll start with myself, which is Hypnotize wins 9-3. So that's one. already to Hypnotize. Imran, comfortable win for 10,000 days. That makes it one apiece. So, as it became apparent as the battle went on, it all rests on our guest.
Yep.
Well, the final scores are standing as this. Nick, Hypnotize has eked out the win. It came back as the battle went on. Final score, 8-4.
Damn.
Oh,
Hypnotize has done it. And I don't think Imran's very happy with this result. He's
I am not.
Imran, I'm sorry. I've
I'm
let you
disappointed
down.
in you.
I've let you down. Don't kick me out. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking about it. I gotta discuss it with the band now.
Oh no. I'm just by the way, Sing Media and the Great Metal Standoff do not claim responsibility for the breakup of the band Flood. This is
It's all on you guys.
no, Hypnotize has done it. So we have collectively decided, well, the two of us have, that Hypnotize had the better album to end their discography on before a extended hiatus. There we go. With that being said, like at the start of the show we were talking about, this is a joke that has been irrelevant for a good 2 years. So let's end this conversation with this. Imran and Nick, what were your thoughts on Fear Inoculum when that came out?
When it first came out, my first listen, I was slightly disappointed, but it's grown on me. It's not my favorite Tool album. I don't think it'll ever take number one, but
What is yours?
I think there are some. My number one,
Yeah.
I think is Undertow, but although that answer has switched and probably will switch in the future, but for the moment it's been Undertow for a while. So, yeah, Fear Inoculum. I think there are some good songs on that. The album as a whole, bit but like songs on it, there are some good ones.
What do you say, Nick?
It's funny you ask, because that's literally the only album I pretty much listened to 0 songs of. I have literally listened to almost every song of every other album. Just by chance you ask me that, I have barely listened to one song of
Neither have I, so this would have been a good gauge to see if it was worth it.
Yeah.
I can give you the songs that are worth listening to if you want.
Fire
Yeah.
away.
Off of Fear Inoculum, just to save yourselves. Well, the title track, Fear Inoculum, I'd say is worth listening to. Pneuma, 100%. Invincible, Descending, and Seven Empist. Also, Chocolate Chip Trip. That's a 5-minute synth/drum solo from Danny Carey. So good.
Fantastic. And also on the other side, System of a Down, they're another band. They went on hiatus. They released Hypnotize in 2005, and then they went 14 years without releasing any full-length album. They are still yet to release another full-length album. However, in 2020, just a year ago, they came out of the blue with Genocidal Humanoids and Protect the Land. Imran, Nick, did you hear
Loved
those
it.
songs? What'd you think of them?
Of course I did.
Yes. I loved them. I honestly, at first, I was like, it was like when a movie studio releases a like a sequel to a movie you love, and you're worried, like, oh no, please don't ruin it. Nope, they didn't. I loved them. They were so good. They portrayed both sides of their music. You know, one really chill, like Genocidal Humanoids. You know, really out there, aggressive. What was the other one called?
Protect the Land.
Protect the Land. You know, a lot more mellow, a lot more chill. Like it was perfect. They did exactly what I wanted them to. They showed both sides of the type of style of music, and like, you know, the level of just musical talent was still there. I loved it.
I agree. I like how they showed their more crazy, wild, aggressive side, and their more like. I feel like the Protect the Land could have been something off of Mesmerize. That kind of gave me that vibe, and Genocidal Humanoids was just wacky, crazy, black metal style stuff. Yeah. No, I love those two songs too.
There you go. So at least things are looking up in the System of Down camp between the two of us here. So to wrap things up a little bit, Imran and Nick, what would you name as your top 3 of both 10,000 Days and Hypnotize?
I'm going to start with Hypnotize, Holy Mountain, Vicinity of Obscenity, and Soldier Side. Those are the only 3 songs I really liked off the album, not going to lie. And 10,000 Days, Jambi, Rosetta Stone, 100%, and The Pot.
Yep. Jeez. For me, starting with Hypnotize, probably I loved Kill Rock and Roll, Vicinity of Obscenity, and She's Like Heroin. 10,000 Days, The Pot first, love it. Jambi second, and then Closer to Serious.
Oh, yes, Vicarious. Yes. Those are pretty solid picks. Again, the one thing I'm very thankful for doing this podcast is now I've got a new Tool song to seek out and enjoy in Vicarious. So that was a fun discovery for that one. And Nick, I'm very happy that Imran invited you onto this show to do this battle. We had Jack on for a 3-way earlier this year, the Flood guitar player. It was fun having a chat with him earlier this year, but it's great to have more members of Flood on. Have Imran and his mate talk music. It was really enjoyable having you on.
It's been great to be here. Thank you. I've really enjoyed this. This has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, you've definitely got to get Jet here. It should be amazing as well. But hope you come back sometime. This has been
hopefully
great.
This is the first of many. I'd be very excited for more of these to happen. To send you off, Imran and Nick, once again, give the listeners all the information they need to know about your band Flood.
Flood.
Jeez.
Well, we're on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, we're Flood, all caps, obviously. Instagram, I think our handle is Flood Official Flood Posting, for some reason. We don't have any music out at the moment, but we will eventually. Just stay tuned.
Spoiler. We've got a certain type of drink type song coming out.
A what?
Red Bull, bro.
Oh, dude, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Flood will give you wings. We may or may not have a song named after a famous drink. Anyway, go follow us. Please stay tuned. We will release music. We will do gigs eventually when we get together. Yeah.
Can I take a guess and to say that when you named your Instagram page Flood Official Flood Posting to mistake people to think that you're a memes page?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I think I came up with that, so...
What a mastermind you are, Imran. This is why you're my new co-host.
Yeah.
Originally, especially, it was pretty much a meme page anyway. There's more memes than music.
I deleted all of them, don't worry. Except
my God.
Maybe 2. I think there's a Limp Bizkit one on there. Go check out the page, check the Limp Bizkit memes.
Yeah, for real.
Well, anyway, this should be the final Great Metal Standoff of the year, so it's very nice to send 2021 off with a Flood chat. Imran, hopefully we'll see you in the new year as a bigger and better co-host as the podcasts go on. And Nick, hopefully you're back on the standoff soon.
I hope to be.
Thank you.
If there's one thing I've learned from this battle, Salty Imran is just so entertaining. Plus, Nick was a fun bundle of energy to chat to, and our thanks once again for him stopping by on the standoff, as he was the deciding factor for System of a Down Hypnotize to get the win over Tool. One final time, rapid fire, if you want to be one of the first people to hear how Imran and Nick's banter translates to music, follow the band Flood on Facebook with Flood, which type in Flood, search them up, all caps, it's Flood, and also search them up on Instagram at Flood Official Flood Posting. I swear that's just a memes page, but it'll translate to music eventually, let's hope. And of course, you can follow this show on Facebook at Metal Standoff Pod and catch previous shows of this very podcast on your preferred podcast platform. And thus, that marks the final standoff for 2021. Whether you've tuned in all year or if this is your first time, thank you very much for listening. Let's hope bigger and better things are ahead in 2022. Plus, don't forget, this podcast runs in conjunction with Sin Media's main metal show, Mosh Pit on Sin, which will return to the airwaves starting late January 2022 from the usual Thursday nights, 8 PM on 90.7 FM, DAB digital radio, or from your preferred device at syn.org.au. That's all for now. Until next time, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, metal up your ass.